why I'm video blogging, because at this time I feel like my ability to communicate is clearer. So I would like to communicate um, my feelings as it is, as clear as it can be, in case in the future I'm unable, or there is a time or comes a time where somebody takes something out of context and flips my words around. I like to be able to be as clear and concise as can be, and be able to communicate myself and my authentic self at the time in which I am posting and or communicating about the situation or subject matter. My grandmother's health has not been well in quite some time. She got the worst kind of cancer you can get. It took a huge turn last year around um, July, around this time, and she passed away within 2 days of my birthday. She was at the point where she was a fighter. She was fighting cancer. She's been fighting cancer for years, and it was her time to go. I sympathy, um, grieving in my heart to know that she is no longer here. That somebody who was a light of my life, my best friend, somebody that I cherished greatly, who would go to the movies with me, who would fight for me, who is, you know, a great mentor for me, who, um, although we didn't see politically the same way, we knew that, and the politics did end up creating a divide in our life, because politics did, we had very different sides of the fence on politics. And instead of communicating with that, it did create a great divide between us, um, because she was very strict in her opinion of how things were on the far right. And I wouldn't say far left, I was like neutral left. I would say I was on the fence. Um, but, it came to the time where um, both our health was being affected with the politics, and it was better for me not to be around her because of our opinions getting in the way, and her being in advanced stage and advanced stages of her cancer. Um, so I would not communicate as much to her because of it, and I do regret sometimes of those times where I was unable to call her, but I was always informed that it should, because of health, grandmother all the time, because of her advanced age and her condition. So it really put a strain within our relationship over the years. Um, I love her very deeply. I miss her every day. I still miss her in my heart before I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning, and different times of my day when certain things trigger a memory for me with her. Um, my grandfather too. He was, he Alzheimer's. He was at this point in time where he couldn't even remember who I was, and thought I was a complete stranger when I was visiting. To the point where he was trying to defend the house and fighting um, the air, or wake up in the middle of the night and trying to fight because he thought I was an intruder. Um, my grandfather just couldn't remember who I was. And that was also part of the strain and difficulty of my grandmother, the last few years, not being able to provide the same support as she did when he was fully capable and fully able bodied. Uh, my grandmother and grandfather just took a turn for the worst within years. My grandfather fell off, and then my Aunt Kim fell off because of my Uncle Ron passing away because he had bad problems. Um, and then that put the burden on her. And at top of that, it was eating away at my grandmother, and eventually her cancer resurfaced because they had found no traces of cancer in her system before, until they tested her and saw that she had advanced stages of pancreatic cancer, and then she got to the point where she couldn't speak without being raspy, and she couldn't swallow or eat food, and she had to gain a certain amount of weight. And my grandmother told everybody it was her time to go. She fought the fight, and she just couldn't do it anymore. So the first day of hospice, within 6 to 8 hours, she passed away. To anybody of my friends who are out there who care, also, in the last few years, I've been, because of these situations, of me grieving, going through struggles, going through advanced pain and suffering because of my loss of my loved ones or my family struggling. Obviously, outside parties were not as sympathetic or caring to our situation, because as narcissistic as they were, it was all about them and their struggle and nobody else's pain and suffering unless they were causing it. And so people tried to evict me, tried to force me out of my home, tried to cause suffering to my mother and I, because of it. So, I mean, officers noticed it, doctors noticed it. My disability condition got worse because of it, and they had noted it. So, I say this with great sadness that my grandmother was a great support system for me, and she no longer could be because of her condition, and it finally got the best of her, and now she's no longer around, and it's unfortunate to say that. So I'm video blogging this time. It's been about 2 weeks, 3 weeks since my grandmother passed away. We are currently at her house getting prepared to be sold and to move. And it's just going through the process of consolidating and going through the process of what's going where. It's just really difficult right now, a difficult time for my family. We lost my grandfather's to Alzheimer's about 2 years before, and then shortly after, we lost my uncle, my grandmother's brother, and then my grandmother's brother's wife, Aunt Kim, passed away, and then my grandmother passed away. So that's 4 people within our family that have passed away during this time. So the grieving process has been quite difficult for really great people with, you know, just a history of being kind, respectful, decent, um, really enjoyable, great personality, just great people in general. All passed away within year or months of each other. And it's been quite a struggle to cope and deal with that. On top of that, my family's health um, has taken a turn. Um, and we also, my dad and my stepmother got divorced. And I'm concerned about him and his future prospects of women coming into his life, especially at his advanced age. I'm hoping that he would find somebody that he can, enjoy the rest of his life with. Um, so yeah,